Hi there! Welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the Moon Garden and it is Monday and I wanted to share with you what the Moon Garden looks like. So this is a Moon Garden tour at the beginning of August in a Zone 9A on the Oregon coast. We just have created this little pocket in our garden that I dedicate to white flowers, variegated foliage, and then and I know maybe it's not a traditional moon garden, but I really love adding a dark aspect to my moon garden, and to me that speaks to the night sky, and it's a really great contrast in the garden. So I do have really dark flowers or dark foliage contrasting with the white or the variegated foliage that's in the garden. So let me turn the camera around and show you what the garden looks like today. I do want to mention I also garden by the moon, so if you are following along, you already know this, but if you are just now finding my channel, know that I have this moon garden that's dedicated to the moon where I plant things that light up underneath a full moon, but I also, and really they light up even more spectacular in dusk and dawn. It's just magical out here in those hours. But I also do a video every couple of weeks at the new moon and the full moon to talk about how to garden by the moon everywhere in your garden according to what's happening in the moon cycle, and how the pull of the moon helps you have an even better gardening experience. So if you're interested in moon gardening or you're just getting started in moon gardening, make sure that you have liked and subscribed to our channel so that you get notified every time I post a new video. And I always talk about the moon on Mondays, Moon Day. So let's get the camera turned around and I'll give you a little tour of what's going on in the moon garden now. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the deck. You can see I have an empty vase there. I had a big flower arrangement in it and the flowers are all done, but I think I might want to do another flower arrangement in the next week or so. Up on the deck, I have lots of white geraniums, and then I've capped each end with this hot pink geranium with this really dark foliage. Isn't that so pretty? I added pink into this garden this year because the rest of our garden everywhere else has pink and yellow annuals. So that's why we put pink in this space, just to tie the gardens in together. The geraniums are going absolutely gangbusters. We do have some white violas still sparkling here and there. They really need to be cut back. Look at that, it's crazy. But they're blooming like crazy, so you know, it's so hard to cut them back. We have Creeping Charlie, which has the variegated tips on it, which gives it a little bit of a sparkle. We do have a Lemon Slice Super Bells here, not in bloom. Typically it is yellow with a white stripe. We have this Bruala here. It is so pretty. Now that I've removed all the other foliage, we had some begonias and some other things in here. I took everything out and it has doubled in size, and it really shows off by itself because you could see its blooms are kind of, you know, sporadic. It's not like a big pillow of blooms. So they show up a lot better when it's just kind of by itself. Panning over this direction. I have these raised beds completely stuffed full of wildflowers, and while it is fun, it's just a little too messy for my taste. Too messy in too small of a space, I guess. So next year, these beds are going to have a lot more structure. but we're going with it for today and for this summer, obviously. Everybody's happy, so that's good. Underneath, I have Pearly Everlasting. This is a perennial. It's a native in our naturalized native in our area. They make really fantastic dried flowers. They have they're great in tea. They help with creating like mucus for digestion and intestinal tracts. It kind of just helps with that, making things move smoothly. Okay, so in the raised beds, we have the pincushion flower, which this one is dark with the white little pins on it, super cute. And then we have the white one. They're really fun contrast together. Got a little Bumble. He likes them too. And then we have a whole bunch of Celine. We do have a volunteer viola in here. This is the native viola. It's getting well watered, so it's super happy. Oh, and underneath here, we do have the Pearly Everlasting along the front side, but underneath we have the Chocolate Ajuga. And man, the Chocolate Ajuga in this garden this year, look at this. It is just absolutely beautiful. It is giving such great coverage. So happy with it. Let's get back to these raised beds. I still have a little bit of sparkling of the Madame Butterfly Snapdragons here and there. They've been weighed down in the rain, and it's certainly time to cut them back. But you know, we still have a few hanging on. Oh, like seriously holding on to the rain. Look how big this one is. Oh my goodness. That's super cool. All right, up here, which is, you know, the edge of our backyard and the moon garden. So I did a stripe with a white and pink stripe. This is the Lovey Dovey Super Tunia from Proven Winners. You will notice in the back side of these beds, there is a Lucifer Crocosmia, but that is technically on the other side of the garden. I've got this little pot on our fence line here. There's a double up white begonia, Diachondra Silver Falls, and Lobelia. We just planted this a couple of weeks ago, so they're kind of small still. In the pot below that, we have 3 volunteer sunflowers. I'm letting them go. Awesome. I'll take a sunflower. Then we have Mini Vista White in here, and then we have the white Impatient. And I was getting a little worried for this Impatient because the Mini Vistas were just taking over, but they're coming into their season and they're bulking up, which is really fun. I also have a clematis, but I have not seen any blooms on it. This clematis here has a purple flower, but I haven't seen any purple flowers. But how can I? Everything's such a crazy mess. Most of this is going to get cut back in the next couple of days. You could see that they've gone to seed, most of them. So it is going to get a really big cleanup. All of the Celine can be pulled and dried, and then it'll look a little cleaner, but it'll look a lot more empty. And we're so late in the season, I'm not going to replant. All right, down in the lower part of the moon garden, again, got this wildflower look going on with the pincushion flowers and the Celine. We've repeated the Mini Vista whites in here. There's a volunteer nasturtium. The birds just kind of pick those things up and throw them around, so such as it is. We've got a double up white begonia right here. And then this is the Diachondra Falls and more Lobelia and more the Silver Falls. I love this combination. We just planted it up a couple of weeks ago, and it's just so pretty. I am so inspired by these containers. I'm definitely, this is like a sneak peek to 2025 because I love this, and we're gonna do more of that. I knew that I love dark foliage in my garden, but just having this like really good contrasting container, I'm sold. Our hostas are kind of fading away for this season. This is the Blue Moon hosta. It did not get as big as I anticipated it to this year. This is the first full year it's been in the ground. And then this is the Twilight hosta, which is doing pretty good for August. Surprisingly well for August, actually. It's seen blooming. Fun. How do these ones smell? That one has a faint smell. Not all hostas have a smell, but that one has this faint smell. And then underneath all of that, there's the Archangel ground cover with the variegated leaf. This is a lilac that's purple. Of course, it's done blooming. This is a twinberry, and it is also done blooming. It's starting to form its little berries. This is a honeysuckle Himalayan, and it has started to flower. I love that plant so much. Those flowers are so fun. And so again, dark flowers. And then this is it's a Hebe, and it has a white bloom. So when it is blooming, it looks beautiful in the moon garden. So that is what the moon garden is looking like right now. I hope that you enjoyed walking around the moon garden, checking out all the different flowers that are blooming. I hope that you were inspired. If you have a moon garden, I would love to see a picture. Please comment below. Let me know your favorite plant to grow in your moon garden. This garden is part shade. So where the pincushion flowers are kind of going crazy right in front of me, it has sun for about 6 hours a day. I mean, like max out at 6 hours. And then the rest of the garden gets maybe like 4 hours, 4.5 hours of sun during the day. It is currently 11 o'clock in the morning, and you could see we're pretty much just in shade, and there's no sneaking sun coming, so it'll be probably like 1 or 2 before we get sunshine. So then it's like late afternoon sun, so it's not super intense. This is on the east side of my house, and we are on the west coast, so yeah, we're just blocked by big trees and the house, and so it's just a nice cozy little area over here that doesn't get a ton of sun. So you know, some moon gardens that are in full sun would have a completely different flower palette. So I would love to see what that looks like in your garden. I have big goals, long-term goals, that my entire garden won't be a moon garden specifically, but I really would love to be able to walk around my entire garden in the middle of the night under a full moon and be able to navigate without any supplemental light. That is my goal, because I just think that would be so beautiful to have all of my paths lined with white flowers and have pops of white, you know, and variegated foliage all throughout the garden, so that the entire thing just looks amazing, all, you know, 24 hours a day. That's it. That's gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're celebrating your life, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.